All right, y'all, let's get it. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing help, well, better understanding the self, man, and giving praise to the Most High. So check it. I'm going live on this one, man. I want to talk about money. Okay, it's gold prices just went crazy. Gold prices just went crazy, but also Bitcoin going crazy, crypto going crazy, and even land. Buying raw land right now is going crazy. Everything is inflating, right? So I want to show some of this video of 19 Keys. They talk about money. They talk about how things are inflating, and we need to get in that. Y'all know I got my group economics meeting at 10, and so I just wanted to get on here and talk about some chili. You heard? But yeah, man, gold price in 2000 it was $279, and now it's at 3,300 and $3,324. So I'm gonna go over a little money talk in this live, waiting for enough people to tap in. But without further ado, I might as well get them. Y'all will catch it on the replay. Let's get it.
So we're going to talk about the stock market. We're going to talk about futures, but I also want to talk about after that how we get to a future to where even when we look at the stock market, there's only a handful of black businesses.
Yes.
Right. If we really have a real revolution, right, and a real movement that is respected, then as we teach stocks, those businesses, as we get more into stocks, should have seen an increase as more black people are getting into investments.
Exactly.
That's what a respectable community would do for each other. There's no way that Asian community are like one of the Asians and whites, one of the highest investors, right?
Yeah.
So let's say they just now started over the last 5 years and it just became this huge wave. Well, all of the Asian businesses, right, are neglected.
Gotcha.
What would that say about them? Well, we respect that. They'd be like, man, they just got in. They don't even support the Asian businesses. Yet they teaching all this stocks and stuff. Like, all right, cool for us. You feel me? Y'all gonna make us richer. We gonna get richer than y'all. Y'all gonna benefit some, but never more than us.
So it's people that invest on the market, right? But they're not looking at the power. Basically, what he's saying that if we invest into our own businesses, the money will go up. But they'll just try to get on the stock market without having a real goal of ownership. Dragon Ball GT original, Albani. All right, man. Salute to you.
Exactly. And then you ignoring your own, so you're not even looking at progress as directly correlated with your own ownership in businesses that you control. You're looking at it only as investment in our businesses, which we control.
Peace, family, is two things that you need right now in order to win in life ultimately.
That's right. And
So look, if y'all don't know, gold went up, right? To your origin is Albany. All right, listen, Albanian. Gold prices was at $279 in 2000, and 2025 is at $3,225. So that's letting us know that we gotta having cash is no good, right? But let's hear it.
and the thing about it is it's about 7 to 8 companies that you're talking about listed on the US stock.
Hold on, let me get them right. Let me get them right.
That's right. And the thing about it is it's about 7 to 8 companies that you're talking about listed on the US stock market. Only about 3 black owned banks. One being I think it's called United One or something like that. They've been around forever, right? But it's just certain things that they still have a level of deprivation as compared to other banks. Now, there's 24 major banks that run through the central banking system, which is the Federal Reserve, right? Mm-hmm. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, all being at the helm of it, right? So when you talk about a black bank, right, And you talk about them coming under the fold of the Federal Reserve like every other bank, which means that there's one central bank for us, right? And that's why it's called the Reserve, because they're there to pretty much break any fall that we have. Because we learned in the past, right, that these falls have left us crippled. We didn't know how to recover from them. So now we need an independent entity that understands money and understand how to keep it perpetual no matter what the calamity that takes place. We still know how to keep this money in the event of the rainy day. So that's what they are. And they have a power called monetary policy that allows them to do things to fluctuate inflation, fluctuate interest rates. They don't do it themselves. Like, they don't go on the computer and say, okay, I want to drop the interest rate 1%. No, they do things to drop the interest rate because monetarily they're the most powerful entity we have in this country, right? When they wave a wand, people get hurt financially and some physically. People get hurt when they wave a wand. So they'll pump all this money into the economy, and then we get all high on, you know, these low prices and this ability to get contracts, government contracts and loans. Oh, I remember one time everybody's running around with platinum credit cards at one time, because you get these instances throughout these institutions where they may have a trend where they are giving out money. Why? Because they have an excess of money. You see what I'm saying? So the reserve also requires these banks to keep a certain amount of money on reserve. You talk about that fiduciary duty.
So basically, y'all, the dollar is just going to keep getting weaker because they're going to keep manipulating it. So if we thought like that, we're going to have to be investing into tangibles. Crypto, I think, is good. Gold is good. Land is good. Businesses is good. But just to have dollars is no good. You know, so if you had 100 ounces of gold, you know, you would be sitting pretty right now. But definitely looking up the gold prices, how gold is taking off, how crypto is taking off. You gotta invest the money. You can't. The dollar is just gonna crumble.
Duty, right? Why you think their fiduciary duty only covers you up to 100,000?
Salute,
right?
Salute,
it only covers you up to 100,000. It makes sense. If we have a $21 trillion economy and only 20 billion of that is cash, then you see why it only covers you up to that, to that amount. So if you got 10 million in your account and it's lost, they're gonna cover you up to 100 grand. That's their fiduciary duty. That's the FDIC, the insurance on your account, right? And what is that actually? What is that actually? That's them allowing to be able to keep their reserves while everybody else starved. You see what I'm saying? What happened during the 2008 financial crisis? They held their reserves. They bailed who out first? You talk about stakeholders, right? Who did they bail out first? The banks. And nobody went to jail. And they were the ones that actually caused the calamity in the first place. But you can't punish the banks according to them, because now you punish the autonomy of wealth in this country. So you could look at, I posted something before about TD Bank and how they were laundering money for drug cartels. And I posted that just to challenge people thinking. I understand what's behind it all. And I understand that they're not just laundering money for drug cartels. They're laundering any kind of money because money has to be reciprocal. Even there is no such thing as uncounted money. The only money that's probably being uncounted is Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. There is no such thing as counted cash. They know where it is. This is why they have a U.S. Treasury Department to go down there and track down what? Unrecorded bills. You see what I'm saying? Because they have to keep track of that, because that is the seed of the autonomy. That is the seed of the perpetual cycle of the rich staying rich and the poor staying poor. This, like you said, it's a capitalist society. There can be no equality in a capitalist society. So I'm trying to figure out, for us as people, when are we going to logically understand that and stop betting on hope?
Fact. So we gotta stop betting on hope. It's more things we gotta do when we come together and make money. From what I learned from watching this, I'm gonna give y'all another part real quick, just to I think this was very informative. But check this out when they talk about how money is fluid.
To understand what you should do with your money.
And how to store it. So if you look at
the East Indian women, they say Indian women have the most gold, right? Because naturally, one of their wealth standards is to store gold, right? Just agents, period, right? Storing gold and silver.
Yes.
But the difference,
My bad, y'all. I want to start it right here. What are you talking about?
yeah, I mean, just going into the metaphysics of that idea when we talk about being in the flow of money, right? We talk about currency, you know what I mean, or currencies, or we talk about banks, and we talk about being liquid, right? All of these things again goes into this water mind, but we think about money in such a square logical manner, right? When people who make large amounts of wealth, right? They don't think about it in this incremental manner. You know what I mean? Because you can't control the ocean.
Yeah.
Right. So this idea of controlling the ocean, no, you learn how to become a good sailor, a good navigator.
Exactly.
Right. It's the same way where you take money or water and pour it in your hand, it's going to fall through.
Exactly.
This is why you put it into a bank, right? You put it into some vehicle so that it can flow.
Exactly.
Right. And your goal is, just like our heart is not, we think about it as something that just pumps, right? But it actually has this spiral effect.
Exactly.
Right. And money is that same way, right? How do you put it into something that can create more energy out of it? Right. And it changes your ideas around it because you're not just trying to collect and save, because saving money doesn't work. Right.
Exactly.
Same way if you're just trying to save water, right? When things heat up, it starts to evaporate.
That's right.
You feel me?
That's right.
And so, no, you want to put it into something that's going to get more out of it. If I drink water, I get more energy out of it.
Yeah.
Right? That's a self-investment.
Well, you got to look at it like this, right?
So basically, the dollar is losing year by year because everything else is growing. I told y'all about this, the gold. We see what crypto is coming in with Bitcoin. I'm with them in this video. They talked about disconnecting our wealth from there for us to get ahead and investing in inflation. So inflated assets. We gotta invest in. Me just looking at the price of gold made me really jump into this. I was getting my just a price list together, just seeing how much gold has profited, in 2000 since now is just crazy. But I'm gonna get in a little bit more what they said. And I definitely want to get some call in, see what y'all think. But this is deep, man. This is real money, right?
If saving was good, ask yourself this: what if everybody was saving? So what if 100% of the U.S. economy was saving instead of spending, instead of investing, instead of doing whatever else it is that we do to keep this fluid flow and this perpetual flow of money? Because what they're actually doing is they're making money elastic. It was a point where they figured money was inelastic, meaning how can we stretch it? How can we multiply? We got to create a money multiplier. And I just think going down to the design of money, right? The U.S. Mint came.
I like what he said. How do we create a money multiplier? That's what we got to be thinking about, especially in the community, especially with our conditions. How can we make our money multiply? Because that's how they think. That's how these banks think. That's how everybody else is moving, but us in the community. We just buying and being we being consumers of everything.
Came into effect when 1792 with the Coinage Act, right? Because we had to get rid of the continental currency, which I was just explaining to people, right? The first currency was called the continental currency, right? That was in 1775. That currency was pretty much a fiat. That was our first fiat. It was backed by what? The promise of winning the Revolutionary War. So once we start to understand things like this about money, we begin to understand why it's even made in the first place, right? So they make money to make war, to make more money, right? So now the whole construct of the money design is this: there's going to be acts put in place because they find out that it's not as fluid as they need it to be. So what happened after the Revolutionary War? That dollar went to zero, the value of it. Why? Because Great Britain didn't only attack America back then from a physical standpoint, but they attacked them economically. How? By counterfeiting their dollars. That might have been the first instance of counterfeiting back then. We're talking 1775 during the Revolutionary War. So that currency only lasted from 75 to 1792. After that, the Coinage Act came. This is when we got our first US dollar, right? So with that also came what? In the US Mint, where they were printing coins now. So the Coinage Act actually said that the dollar can now be worth something of value. And what was of value back then? Gold and silver. So back then, gold was like $19 a troy ounce. Silver was like $1.29. But we spoke earlier about how they actually could devalue money by pumping so much of it into the economy. And this is what eventually happened, right? With the continental currency. So it loses its value. They create the new dollar with the Coinage Act. And as time went on, even that, the value fluctuated in that because it's about the ratio of gold and silver, right? 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of silver. So as time went on, the ratio of gold to silver even changed, right? So as that ratio of gold to silver changed through the 1900s, guess what? That means less cash was available in the market now. And it also meant that silver was being devalued. So by the time, let's say 1873 came, they called that the crime of 73. What happened then? They devalued silver completely. So now all the farmers and merchants, we didn't have economics then, we had merchants.
So that he's saying that, I think silver is a good investment right now, seeing what gold is doing right now. I think silver may be a good investment. Yeah, buying some stocks, even the YouTube stock, some of these social media sites that we're using. It's probably good. It's probably going to inflate rather than having dollars in the bank, because they spending all this money on a gold dome. They just, all of the money they're using is going to reflect on the dollar. So it's going to get $1 less purchasing power. So we got to be on it with the money, so we know what's going on and what to do. But that 2000 gold price, the 2000 to right now 2025, if y'all look at that, oh my gosh, it'll blow your mind.
So the merchants were hurt because of this. So what did they do? They went to war. They acted out the best way they could, the same way people act out now when these calamities strike. And I'm saying this because it's important for us to know. I hear a lot of talk about what Trump can possibly do to the economy or what Elon can do to the economy. And this is why information is wealth, because to understand the money is to understand at least some of what they're trying to do.
Exactly. Information is wealth. I like that he put that. He talked about information. Passing information and getting information is definitely wealth, because you can get some information today that could take you to the top. Man, shout out to you, Tyson. Take off Tyson, man, for showing. But hey, we got to talk about some money. I'm still doing that meeting for y'all, for us at 10 on Group Economics, y'all. But I want to talk a little bit about money. And that price of gold just went up, man. That let us know that the dollar is crashing. The dollar is crashing. You got to do something with your money.
You get what I'm saying? So systems come and they go. They transition. They get ripped from the seams in the fabric. And the people who benefit most are the only people that don't get hurt. It's the people on the bottom that end up hurt. But how do we end up hurt, Keys? Because we don't do the very same thing that they're doing on a smaller scale, which is what? Invest. So again, I ask you the question, what if everybody was saving? When we know that I just gave an example of how even our old first dollar, the Coinage Act, 1792, that dollar went from being predominantly gold and silver to being no silver at all, to being worth nothing. And then they actually transitioned to a new currency after that. And that's when the Federal Reserve and things like that came about. So understanding money is to understand what you should do with your money.
And how to
store. So
Like
if you look
7
at
o'clock.
the East Indian women, they say Indian women have the most gold, right? Because naturally one of their wealth standards is to store gold, right? Just agents, period, right? Storing gold and silver.
So we talked about that. I want to get y'all to when they talk about what is money, so we can understand that. This was a good one. They came on, and I like it. I'm gonna start it from the beginning.
But let me tell
Let's
you
get
how they think. I took this and I will massacre and kill whoever to keep it. So if you think your whining and crying is gonna make me forfeit this to you, no, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep giving you what I've been giving you.
Black men still are never the primary beneficiaries of any of these things, yet it's built on Black death.
Slavery was the economy back then. America didn't start it. Nothing happened because of moral reasons. Why do we think that these people stopped these things because they felt sorry for us?
The groups that it does the most social advocacy and change are all underfunded.
Yeah.
If billions of dollars are flooding, then how come none of these groups are getting the money?
Listen what you're saying. Include me. Why would I? Do you know what I did to you for this? And now you want me to give you a chance to get it back.
What's their plan? What is futures? What is the 70% rule? Why do they put sigils on money?
The whole money system is on cloud smoke, man.
Mm.
It's all autonomous. It's digital numbers.
You went to prison for a case, studied law, in which allowed you to beat your case to get out and change your life.
Because you think you can use your law to break law, and you can't. So I pointed you out. I shine light on your and you had to let me go.
I say get away from broke people. Being poor is almost a disease. Poverty is a lesson. You're supposed to graduate from it.
I agree with him, bro. Being broke is you supposed to learn something from that, you know? If you ain't never go through no hard times, and we said this on my channel one time, it was like, you know, being broke humbles you and it builds character for when you, that's what it's supposed to do, you know, for when you get money, because you don't want to not have no character, get money and lose it all. This is why they give all the money to the bottom of our people, because they know if they give them money, they're not going to do nothing but promote negative ways to use money, you know?
Price of goods and service went up, but you making the same money every year, but you got the same spending habits too. And the only thing you say is, man, price of eggs and milk went up.
Peace, family. It's 19 Keys. Thank you for watching High Level Conversations.
But what really got me, y'all, was, you know, I looked at the price of gold and I said, dang, it's $3,000 something. I see crypto going up over 100,000. Palantir, the AI stocks right now is going up. And it's like, we gotta get into investing, man. It's just, they're using a dollar, they're using hundreds of millions of dollars on stuff that we gotta pay for with the dollar. So it's like, in 5 years, the dollar is gonna be able to buy you less and less things. And these are the people that's gonna be losing, is the people that's not investing. That's it. Okay.
We want to continue to be the best show in the world. So we need
To understand what you should do with your money.
So I want to
To
get into
understand
this.
what you should do with your money.
And how to
Stores. So if you look at the East Indian women, they say Indian women have the most gold.
I went over that.
Yeah, I mean,
Both
like,
this one.
So you said something, right? You said, okay, DEI was supposed to pump billions of dollars into the black community,
Business
correct?
ownership
For them to
is
do
key,
what with?
period. For real, bro.
Because
for we was gonna do with it.
yeah, what were we gonna do with it? What were we gonna do with the
And
billions
why
of
is
dollars
key?
they were gonna pump?
Why is key? Because when you can't invest, we got to know to invest in our businesses. Like, we got to understand that's a big investment. When we invest in our business ownership, that's like key, because that's like rock solid, and we know people gonna support it. That's probably the biggest, I think, just as big as, you know, investing in different gold and Bitcoin is investing
We're
in
supposed
us,
to
ownership.
repair our communities and build community centers
I'm
and
with you, Big
facilities and mental health advocacy and
But obviously we weren't conditioned to do that, right?
yeah.
Obviously they know we're not conditioned to do that, right?
Well, then there's also a difference between commitment and deployment.
It is.
So the way they get us with language is, we will commit $1 billion.
Commit.
Right? We got $1 billion for you. I come to you, I got $1 billion for you. You make the announcement, man, goddamn, the bank just committed $1 billion. Then what happens? You go to them and you say, all right, I just found a business. I want to invest in 19 Keys, man. He got immediate platforms, blow. Now we don't like that. Reject it. If they then you go to them over a course of a year, because they
Right, and I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example of this, right? In the water treatment industry, I had a cousin that sent me. He sent me that, hey, Biden is allocating $130 billion for water infrastructure, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see what that do. It was like 3 times environmental this, like he's pushing billions of dollars. Nothing happened in our industry. The same thing was going on. But he sent me this information like, dang, Biden them is doing something. They trying to help with the water situation we got to change the pipes. But the same things are happening. So they send these billions of dollars out and we don't even know how to get the money out. And they're going to deny us, like, we can't use the money. Kill trees to make paper, then spend bread at the pharmacy to get some cheese. That's funny, bro. That's funny. That's crazy. If you let them cook.
said we gonna commit this over the course of 5 years.
Yeah.
But every time you go to them with an idea, they reject it. But remember, they committed to do it, but they rejected every single opportunity of deployment.
Yeah.
So when we see this language, we think, oh snap, this commitment has actually been deployed, and it hasn't. But because we don't understand the language, they get to play the game with us.
Yeah.
So they get a representative of the commitment, but we don't always see the deployment. So now we're wondering, where the hell did those dollars go if they were deployed?
Yeah.
And then when they do get deployed, a lot of times it goes towards parties and research and things that don't actually create or manufacture change. And it's not always the corporations. It's the person that they put in front of, because they find a token most of the time.
Yeah.
And they're afraid to do anything dangerous with
Exactly.
the money. So what they do is they operate within their friends network. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To these nonprofits and things of that nature, right? That are afraid to do anything real with it because they're disconnected, because they're operating in a class group, right? So we went to the same school, we was at the same frat, right? Not what actually will create and manufacture real change, which is why most of the time the groups that it does the most social advocacy and change are all underfunded.
Yeah.
So basically, bruh, like we talk about on this channel, we talk about these fraternities, sororities, these 501c3s. They're the ones that when they get money to a community or money to something, these are the people that they disperse it with, and they got control over it because they already got structure. They already got a hold on the system. So we'll be looking like we can't even get in. We can't even be a face, the regular people at the bottom. And they spending all the money on themselves, and they frat groups, all kind of stuff. And we like, dang, y'all spend billions and billions of dollars been going to communities, towns, and stuff like that. But these people they've been knowing how to rob. Okay, and throw it to the sororities, fraternities, parties, political parties.
Billions of dollars of flooding, then how come none of these groups are getting the money?
Bro, I have a friend of mine. Shout out to Uncle Charles, Wall Street Consortium. My guy, he works for Jamie Dimon. And
not to cut off your wisdom, because they be telling me I be cutting people off.
oh no,
You can cut me off too.
No,
so
we good.
We got
we
it's
might,
sportsmanship.
we might have suffered from the same gifts as a kid. They say we like to cut people off because it needs to be said.
No, not to cut your wisdom. That's what we say. We say not to cut your
That's
wisdom.
right.
You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
The wisdom can't
Not
be
to
cut, though.
interrupt your flow of intelligence.
It's fluid.
Yes, sir.
It's fluid. So the thing is, Uncle
Shout out
Charles
to them
worked for
brothers.
Jamie Dimon, and he told me that Jamie Dimon said right now, I believe it was in Mississippi, he said there's $60 billion right now down there in our branch in Mississippi that's waiting for people. He said, but are we going to tell them it's down there?
Crazy.
No. So it's that thing, right? So you put the money into the hood, right? Or you put the money back into
They
the
don't know
community.
how to get it out.
They
Fill out the
don't know how to
paperwork,
do nothing.
the proper grant.
Exactly.
Knowing that what you would have really done is you would have put marketing and put a program together to show people how to get the money so that they're qualified for it, which would have been the best advocacy so that people can actually unlock it.
Yeah, so a subliminal red line.
Yeah, because
It's
they're just trying
subliminal
to
red line.
fill quotas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, We did it, but they didn't get
They
it.
didn't get it.
It's not my fault. They didn't get
That's what he said about redlining. It's redlining going on. They know that it's pretty much these people are soaking up the funds, bro. All of these groups, they already got people in place, they tokens, and they already soaking up the money. And it's a redlining going on, but you can't really see it.
it.
They didn't get it. So what happens to that money? It surfaces, it flows right back to the banks. Let's talk about that because that's important. What happens to the money that Jamie Dimon said nobody used? Another bank call them up and say, I'm short on my reserve for the day. I need that money. Now they get the money and they go lend it to somebody else. And this is how the money stays perpetual amongst them. But what's our benefit? Again, if we put that money, if right now, what would happen if you give $1 million to a monkey? Nothing. Because a monkey don't want $1 million. He want bananas.
Right. It's money to him.
We don't want DEI, truthfully. We think we do. We don't know what to do with $60 billion. So here's what we're going to do, Keith.
Appreciate
We're going to take that money and we're going to go back to your banks and get these loans to buy this house, to believe that we're an owner of something that's taking us 30 years to pay. We're going to integrate ourselves deeper with those benefits into their system. But if we learn what to really do with that money, the question would be not how much you're putting into the hood, but how much of it is staying in the hood. Because if you giving us $60 billion to go into this particular neighborhood, but I'm getting it and I'm going over here to buy my food, I'm going to this supermarket. We don't take that money and build supermarkets, then we got to go to Target.
That's a fact.
I see people, I walk in Target, people looking at me, black people looking at me like this, and I'm looking at them. I've never said I wasn't going to shop from Target. That's what you said, and it makes no sense. It's not a real employable strategy. Because it's based on what? Emotion. And it's based on the echoes of people that have gotten it wrong in the past. Y'all keep focusing on the wrong things. It's not about the money that's coming. It's about giving people the schematics and a blueprint to how to use the money. Because that's what the transition in the...
He's speaking facts because we already spending 1.8 trillion. We got no idea, bro, like the power of that. So we don't know, the ways they use the money. That's why we got this. Shout out to Ray said. That's why we got these crooked officials. Cause they gonna keep us, the same people you named. They're gonna make sure we don't go on and educate about the money. They're gonna make sure that
money 4 or 5 times in the history of our country happened. That's why it happened in the first place. The perfecting of it. So give us the knowledge on the blueprint, the design, the construct of it. No, you're not going to get that. The quality doesn't come in things, it comes in here.
And I don't think we know how to pass over the shifts.
Right? No, we don't.
So, let's say there's been a long time where a lot of people have done really good in our community. Heart, I think, is in the right place, things of that nature. But they don't know when to pass the torch to somebody else who may be a better steward of that position. Right? Like during now, what we need to get together is our relationship with God and money.
That's right.
Right? And I think that relationship with God, number one, Savior's Day just passed. The brother Minister Ishmael was talking about a deliberate message from the Minister Louis Farrakhan on how it ain't economy, it ain't none of these things that we talk, it ain't jobs. It's our relationship with God right now that will save us during this time. That's how you save yourself. And right now, we're out, right, of function. We have a dysfunctional relationship with God.
Yes.
Right? And I believe in that because it's our righteousness that sustains us. And
that's why I was talking to y'all about the live. I think it was yesterday or the day before. We need actual steps, not people saying that, oh, they're praying, or they telling us about Christianity, thinking that that's going to change our circumstances. We need action. God wants us to be moving in a certain way with action. He made us in the representation of him. The red road is no joke. But let me let them boys keep cooking.
We don't know how to, I ain't gonna say we don't know how to, we have not put that at the forefront of the movement, because we should be able to easily agree that is righteousness and the morals and the values and getting back to the root of the redevelopment of what culture is.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
You shouldn't be mad that a Kendrick Lamar is going to the Super Bowl and creating an image of Black America as resilient and resistance and revolution, right?
Yeah.
And just porting that out to the world. That Super Bowl was the most watched event in the history.
Right, and they're gonna get in the Black American revolutionary spirit. You know, it's important to have that. You know, everybody on my channel, they with that Black revolution, that Black American revolutionary spirit. When you got that, you know, it definitely gonna move people, and people gonna want to move with you, in my opinion. But yeah, this was a big one, man. I like to I ain't want to go too much in on this video, but I mean in on this, but I definitely feel that I want y'all to I definitely feel, let me see what you said in the comments. I definitely feel like seeing the amount that stock has grew was just crazy to me. But from the west to the east, the stolen land, no peace, make it hard for you to breathe. Yeah, we need that treaty though. Shout out to Racehead. We do need that treaty, man. We definitely need that treaty. But we gotta get we gotta understand how they manipulating the money. The money is just gonna get worse and worse, the dollars, if we don't invest into our business ownerships, you know, land, minerals. Like we gotta stop thinking we're gonna hold this money with, you know, these white people face on it. That ain't nothing. Even in the banks, it has to be moving. Like they said, it's like water, bro. Currency, current. We gotta make that money move and grow. So this the time, like I said in my last live, is group economics, man. If you ain't in no group, you know, trying to get your economics together, was Jesus a revolutionary? Oh, most definitely. I mean, in my opinion. But we need to be radical. We got to disrupt the system. We got to change the system that's going on and make it for our best interest. We got to disconnect from their wealth. We got to figure that out, because if we don't disconnect, and we can only do it through business. That's why Black Wall Street had to get handled like that, because they was able to disconnect our wealth from theirs. Don't overlook silver. Yeah, man, silver is it. You wasn't here when I said that, but I think silver is the best investment right now. Seeing what gold doing, silver didn't jump like that yet. Let's look. Okay, let's always talk about money. Silver price since 2000. All right, so in 2000, the average closing price in 2000 was $4.95 per ounce. All right, and now it's at $28. What it is today? I think it got to be $40 or something. It's $33. So I think silver is a good, you know, but being diverse too, man. Like our dollar, we seeing how they spending money on gold domes and sending money over here. The money is just gonna be less and less valuable, guys. So we gotta understand that for real. But definitely, I feel like silver is a good one. I feel like AI, but I feel like investing into us, into businesses that we own, that we're pushing, is important. That's gonna be our biggest return on investment. because we got $1.8 trillion that we need to allocate to us, to us, to us. So that can turn into 4 trillion. You know, if we keep staying at 1.8 trillion, it's going to go down because everything else is going to go up. People are going to have to, they're taking more money up out the hood, man. Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for tapping into this one, but we still having our meeting. Remember the old silver dollar with Kennedy on them? Yeah, they was getting at some stuff with the silver dollars too. That was important. But this was a good topic, man, about money. We gotta start. I'm gonna start having more topics about money and stocks. But I want to make sure we're investing in our black business, like brother like Takeoff said, man. We need to invest in our black businesses. We need to be buying land. We got to be doing stuff with this money because it ain't doing nothing but losing its value. But yeah, it's crazy. Kennedy got took out. Abraham Lincoln got took out. Don't overlook silver. And but was Jesus a revolutionary? What made you say that, Ray's head? Was Jesus a revolutionary? Black American revolutionary spirit. That's what we gotta push. And I'm pushing. We gotta be radical. We gotta change the game. We gotta make disruption in the economy, bro. That's what that's what the Panthers did. That's what a lot of people did. It was disruptive. If we ain't being disruptive, it ain't good for us, man. But I wanted to show y'all this one too. Talk about some money. Since we talk about money, let's talk about the black dollar and what it's doing right now. Check this out. They got a movie coming out too called that, but um I got y'all on that. Check this out. I'm finna play y'all this. Black money.
There's been a lot of talking cash shit and writing checks. People simply can't.
All right, check this out. Let me play this. Do you ever get trolls? Do you ever get trolls? Trolls like what? Aisha. Nickel is used to circuit board components. Titanium is used to circuit board components. Same capacity. Cobalt is included in the hard drive. Yeah, we need to have stuff like that. Avatar, what's up, fam? Man, I wish I would have caught this one, man. I was talking some of that money talk in this one. Uh, do I ever get trolls? What kind of trolls, Aisha? Like people that's just trolling me? What's up? What's up? Avatar, what's good, brother? Oh, more things to invest in. Facts, 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 facts. Man, they can't make it bigger than that. That's crazy. All right, let's go.
cannot cash. So the question of the day is, did them checks clear? Corporations, first and foremost, I'm looking at you. And I can't help but wonder, how y'all pull out game so strong? We've seen it happen time and time again. A
It's
company
about
makes
money.
a big announcement
Bitcoin
about
going
investing
stupid.
in Black-owned businesses,
Yeah.
only to quietly quit those promises later on. So what pushes
Okay.
corporations to make commitments like these in the first place? More often than not, it's a combination of public pressure, social media scrutiny, and a desire to appear socially responsible. Companies want to show that they're committed to things like DEI. They want to be seen as allies to the Black community. But what's in it for them really? The answer is simple. Money, ducats,
Yeah, troll in the
coins.
comments. with
Not
the
only are they
crypto question.
capitalizing on the trendiness of
Yeah,
advocacy,
for real.
but by investing in Black businesses, corporations
You
can
right,
tap into
Rachel.
new markets and customer bases and capture a share of the Black dollar, which is estimated to be worth over $1 trillion, y'all. However, there's also a deeper cultural significance at play. When corporations make commitments to Black businesses, it's often seen as a symbol of acceptance, being invited to the cookout. But let's be real, this is a two-way street. Corporations need to put in the work to build genuine relationships with Black businesses and communities. They need to follow through on their commitments rather than just paying lip service. That's quite literally the only way we can start to see real change. There's been a lot of talking.
So I like what she said. Yeah, I do get trolls. You're right, bro. I get trolls. I don't know why they be doing on that crypto. Every video I drop, they trying to get on crypto. It's like, why are they doing my channel like that, bro? I don't know who is that, but you're right. It's like it's getting annoying, bro. I'm getting, you know, it's getting annoying, man. Yeah, Bitcoin and gold has been going ham, bro. It's crazy right now. You know, that's my kind of woman. Physically, yes, indeed. Tripping and trolling. You over the target. Yeah, man. That junk. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody even studying that, but they keep pushing it on every video. It's crazy. Tripping and trolling. But yeah, man, y'all, we got Bitcoin, gold is going crazy, but when it go crazy, it's letting me know that the dollar is getting weaker. So we got to put our revenue to something that's a lot more, you know, that's going to last for sure. But I definitely want us to. We was talking about, Aisha was talking about land, and land is tripled too, man. Land has been crazy. The first crypto bill about to get signed this week is called the Genius Act. So that's why things going crazy like this right now. Yeah. But as we see, like with gold and anything else, it's good to let the money sit, man. I mean, that's a lot of people that's in the stocks and options too, and buying and selling, but it seems like the best thing to do is just invest and wait till it get to a certain price point for you to sell out, in my opinion. But Roger Wakefield, I gotta tag him. And Bitcoin conference is coming up in a week. Where's that Bitcoin conference at, Avatar? I might gotta pull up. Any designer, architects in the group? Modular housing in the future. Oh, it's in Las Vegas. I ain't gonna be able to catch that, but Aisha out there, man. Aisha, you may have to catch that one for us and give us a little recording. She in Cali right now. But yeah, at 10 o'clock I'm gonna do that group economics meeting on the Discord. Carrie said she want to watch the basketball game. So it's only going to be for like 20, 30 minutes. But that's going down at 10. But yeah, things going crazy right now, man. If you was invested, even Palantir went crazy as well. You know that. Shout out to Avatar, not Avatar, but Don Jeter. He told us to get into that at like $90. Yeah, Isha. Yeah, man. Because I want to talk about in our meeting. I want to talk about our media. Like I think with everybody being a little bit of everywhere, I think we got to start pushing our media so we can be pushing messages out there and using like YouTube, using like a blog, like a news article that we control. That I'm gonna talk about that, but we got to start talking about that money, that investing. That dollar is crashing. Where are you gonna put it? We definitely got to put it. We got to invest in us though, for real. Actively Black apparel company. No, but I did hear about a black underwear company, and I also want to talk about giving black companies free advertisement for like 30 days, so we can get some to lock in with us. So I got a lot of ideas that I want to do, but yeah, it's something that I'm trying to push. Giving black companies some free exposure for like a month sometimes, and then lock in with somebody. So I'm glad you brought that up, bro. Actively Black apparel company. How is it? Talk to me about it. Actively Black apparel. It makes me think that they wearing black every day. I wouldn't mind that. Let me look it up. Oh, he gave Shedeur Sanders an INL deal, and that's probably why he fell to the 5th round. Dang. Yeah, cause that's his company that he pushing with the apparel. I mean with the legendary. I'm on their site right now. I may gotta do it look like I see him in the background on the that's what's up. It looks like that's what you gotta do. That's what we're gonna have to do with our companies. Nike and the big companies are blocking his rise. Exactly. Because they want to sign them and have them. We got to stop signing with those guys. We got to start making our own apparel. It ain't the dominant right now. We got to start marketing our people. It's like when we get our businesses going, we got to sign these athletes to our man, y'all got to link in with us. But I appreciate Shedeur for doing that. That's dope. Instead of signing with Nike, Adidas. You're right. We need to put ourselves out more. That's why I'm talking about our media company, bro. Like I'm trying to start a media branch at what I'm doing. Like a website. We have articles. We pushing out content that way too to talk about this. But I like that. Do a live about it. Possibly get them on. Yeah, Shedeur. Yeah. Is Nike a good stock to buy? It's a lot of brothers coming out with shoe companies. I don't think Nike is going to be dominant in 5, 10, 20 years. I mean, probably with certain cultures, But I don't think with us, they still pick our best guys, and they, But I would go with what Racehead was saying: some minerals that's needed to buy, like to make phones and cars and stuff like that. Google maybe, like YouTube, stuff like that that's prevalent. But I don't know. I don't know about Nike. It may be though, but I feel like they got a hold on everything. Keep billboards in mind along the highways when advertising. Facts. Big facts. But something can change in the industry where it could be radical and change a lot of stuff. Like what we trying to do. We trying to disrupt the industry. So it's like when that happens, it's gonna be some stocks, some crypto that may do well. But the dollar is not dominant right now. With just the people don't know it yet. But I just showed you gold went from $279 to $3,324. So that's letting you know that the dollar has been dropping since the early 1900s, when they was buying houses for $10,000, $20,000. It's just been going up and up and up. So it's gonna keep going up because they're gonna keep manipulating the money by crypto and silver, gold, real estate. You'll get better gains in crypto, especially when laws get passed. Yeah, you gotta hold it though. You know what I mean? You gotta hold real money. But a business too, bro. Investing in something that you in that's tangible is good too. You got to have a diverse portfolio, because you can invest in a business and the business can, you know what I'm saying, take off. And I mean like your own. Like let's say this Black Apparel, they just got Shedeur Sanders. What if they come to be the next Polo or something, and you could have got into that stock? Like when they just invested in Shedeur Sanders, stuff like that. But everything is gonna inflate. Nothing is gonna. The dollar is the only thing that's gonna lose. So it's like saving is like pointless right now. Water G, is it possible to convert the black gangs into a security corporation, both for the hood and the celebrity class? Heck yeah, man. One guy was talking about making the Crips a political party. This was a while back, a couple years ago. But yeah, I think that we got to do something with the gangs, but that's the CIA. If you look at Wells, the guy Wells, he was releasing information that the CIA was already in cahoots with the Bloods and the Crips. Like look at WAC 100 and Big U. They was telling you how they was in bed with the government. So they get these top dogs and they have them in bed. So it's like that's control. You know what I mean? We'll tell them to be security and all of that, and they'll be COINTELPRO-ing us. You know what I mean? They'll be telling the government everything. They'll come up with an idea to shut it down. So it's crazy, but that's what it is right now. In the celebrity class. But I'm with you, man. I wish we could have something like that, to put those guys to real work. Yeah, we need our own security companies, man. That's why we got to get our finance right. Because if we can finance it, that would be dope. Cause that'll protect our wealth. You know, if we had a town, that'll protect it. But these people will do anything, man, to stop our wealth, pull our wealth down. But make sure y'all tap in at 10, man. I'm going for like 20, 30 minutes. We'll get off here probably around like in 20, 30 minutes. But we're gonna talk about group economics, talk about investing, you know, and generating the income because they bringing South African white people over here and you don't know what kind of positions they trying to have them in. It's just getting real spooky. We got to have our own businesses. What's popping, Doge? What's good, fam? I appreciate you for tapping in. Always good hearing from you. He said, what's pooping? What's popping? Not much, man. Trying to talk about some money. Talking about money. Oh boy, they cooking in there. I smell some good food. But yeah, y'all, I got the meeting at 10 on Discord, man. If y'all could tap in for 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. I wanted to go over some things. Wanted to go over the media company. And I wanted to go over with, you know, how we gonna invest in water, man. Money is like water. We got to keep that current moving. For real. But it's always good to talk to the family. They also bring in Africa Online, Web 3.0 technology for the Great Reset. Bro, we got to start our media company. We got to start a media outlet. I don't know if y'all caught me in the later. I said that I want to get like black businesses and give them 30 a month of free promotion, bro. And then come back to them and like see if we can work out a deal. Blockchain technology for the Great Reset. Man, that reset is already, bro. The video, you didn't check the video I just showed with 19 keys. 90% of our money is already digital, bro. Only 10% of the money is like cash dollars. Majority money that they got right now is digital. So it's like it's already here. We ain't understanding it yet. And all it is, get the proper training, paperwork for private concealed carry security. Yeah, we got William Johnson, man. He good with the securities and guns, man. We're gonna have a training for just that. But yeah, Racehead, we could put that together, man. We got to put together our institutions, bro. Like I told y'all, I had it in the group. It was, I'm gonna tell y'all them right now. Department, legal, media, IT, security, finance, operations. That's what we gotta lock in, bro. We got an IT guy, we got a security guy that been in the Army. We got guys who, you know, been in the crypto and the stock with the finance. You know, we just need, we got a little bit of media, you know, legal operations. We got to lock down these departments. And then we could take off like a rocket. You heard? Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of currency that we can make for sure. For sure. It's a lot of currency, but we making currency right now. I know I'm invested into that main crypto. That move money digitally. Yeah, digitally is where the money at. I was talking to this guy trying to get a GG Nike. How come? How about LV Mu, Louis Vuitton Hennessy? Put big facts, brother. Straight up. Great potential. Yeah. What this guy say? Louis Vuitton Hennessy. No, I showed y'all on 19 Keys. He said that we're gonna be more powerful when we have to invest in our black businesses that's on the stock market as well. And we gotta get black businesses to go on the stock market. Because they got Chinese companies that go in there and we investing in everybody companies. But we got to understand we have to put power to our ownership stuff too. We can't just keep putting our money with their money. Well, the American dollar is volatile, so all other countries are talking about on who gonna replace the dollar. Yeah, big fact, brother. Yeah, we just got to start somewhere, man. But ownership, we can't keep thinking that. You know what I'm saying? Ownership is key, bro. We have to be putting each other on, and we got to have ownership. And we got to be on the stock market. We got to put our money to our stocks too. Ain't nothing better to invest in than our people, bro, because we got the longest history of DNA. So we got the most, like, we just don't know what to do with this $1.8 trillion. But that's a big investment that we can get right there. So we are the unknown waiting to see where the cars land. Right. We own, bro, the Chinese people be having their banks and stocks in Africa, bro. They got their own stocks and businesses and stuff like that. Everybody's getting their own cryptos. Everybody is doing all of this. And we keep talking about investing in other people. We got to invest in ourselves. That's going to be the biggest return, bro, because once we get up, we're so far down. If we just get up a little bit, bro, we going to be up there. 100,000x, you know? So we are in the unknown waiting to see where the cars land. Definitely. Healthy water line, natural ginger water, turmeric, iodine water, natural. We've been drinking for generations. Big Mama and the Healers, you feel me? Yeah. Yeah, man, that turmeric in that water is something else. Big Mama and the Healers. Shout out to Mama Lisa, man. I don't know if she could make this one. She gonna catch the replay, but I'm gonna go live after our little meeting too for a little bit. It's Wednesday. But I did this short live. Trev told me about this vertical live. And I was like, I'm gonna try it out. Try it out and see how it go. But yeah, we gotta get to it, man. Aisha was telling me about putting the family together to buy some land. That's facts. 50 made how much off that flavor water? Yeah, he did some numbers with it. You know, they always be saying more than what they make for marketing reasons. I don't think he made that 400 million. I think it was like everybody, but water is a good investment, bro. I think that's something we gotta bring to the table. Once we get one rolling, that's what I be saying. Once we get one thing rolling and we got that, and I think right now we pushing media, and water. You know what I'm saying? That was a marketing scheme, not about health. For real, they be marketing now.
Call from
Department of Government.
to accept, press 1. To send
Doge, what's good, family?
What's poppin', Water God?
What's good,
How you
man?
been?
Good, man. Another day, another dollar, man. You know, trying to make it happen.
That's the good news. I love hearing people, our folks, especially talking about getting that paper, getting
Mhm.
papered up and holding it and increasing it,
Facts,
you know.
facts, facts.
But it's definitely a thing out here where it's a good thing, you know, this tariff season, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and charging tariffs on our IP, you know, on our intellectual property,
Right.
you know.
That's what they doing.
Seemed like South Africa, you know, the president over there, he just like he got the Zelensky treatment.
Right.
You know, he came there with his hands out, and President Trump,
Bless
he had
them.
something else in mind. You know, what you think this conversation gonna be like when he come back to the motherland? Like, he's the official puppet, right?
Oh,
He put his ass out there.
yeah, I mean, most definitely. I mean, that's a lot of people gonna take it both ways. I'm interested to see, you know. But you see how they bringing all
That's crazy.
the South Africans over here, you know.
That could be, then again, like the optics of that, he was
Right.
like a little boy. He got that little boy treatment.
Yeah. For real. For real.
You know?
That ain't happened too long ago. They had a meeting. I seen him
Yeah,
sitting with the president.
It's, you know, but a lot of these puppets over there, they are snitching.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think they trying to move on the homie Torre out there in Burkina Faso.
Right. That's what you
Yeah.
think. They trying to get in and assassinate him.
I say all that.
Right.
But yeah, I think they definitely they finna line him up. Yeah, because he got too much warlord swag.
Yeah.
The last African from the continent that had warlord swag that got taken out was Omar Gaddafi. You know, you seen his suits? His suits was like tailor made. He had that warlord swag. You know.
Yeah.
It's just what it is, man.
Facts. Yeah, Gaddafi was a beast, man. They loved him, bro.
Oh yeah. It always happens though. You get certain ones, like the element is like they get this education from the puppet masters, and then every now and then they flip the script. Like, you know.
Right.
What's his name? Robert Mugabe from Zimbabwe. He did the same thing. And he was in power for like 60 years.
Dang.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes down to this paper, what you think about this crypto going on right now? Bitcoin heading over to 110K over that, about to touch 120. I think by the 26th.
Dang, that's how you going that far. That's crazy. Yeah, I feel
yeah, I'm going that far. Yeah.
I feel like, I think the dollar is going down. You know, Trump just announced he's doing 175 billion for the dome. The more money they talk about spending, the more I think everything else is going to inflate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad you correlate with that right there. If it's somebody who's gonna play back the replay later on, which I'm sure, could you break that down real quick? What you just said?
The more money we spend in America, it's like the more everything else is going to inflate. That's a sign for us to like we got to invest. You know what I mean? Because they're going to use that investment money, and that dollar is just being manipulated, bro. As time, like I'm looking, like I showed you this video from even gold, like everything you look at, you know, houses was like $4,000-5,000 at one point in time. The money, the dollar is just being manipulated every year, year after year. You know?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm paying attention to the USD right now, and I see that it's going down. You know, and I also see those oil prices. They down too.
Yeah, because a lot of people and you know, China just released that car. It did big. I forget the name of it, but it's another solar car.
BYD.
Huh? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. We about to get those over here. Soon enough with with the tariff deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's
Tesla,
less expensive.
That's in trouble.
Yeah, Tesla gonna be in trouble, man.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is gas is gonna be, you know, the gas price has been dropping. I think it's under $3. But still, I don't think gas is not a long-term stock to hold.
Anything contribute. Yeah, that if someone is playing with the gas thing, the gas and the oil, you know, I would always suggest look at these two tickers, and they're 3x leverage. They're by the Bank of Montreal. You'll find them on the stock exchange easy.
Right.
However, they're called, one is called NRGU. Now that's the bullish one, the 3X bullish one. And then the other one is NRGD. And that's the bearish one. That's the inverse 3X. And playing with those, you will make your money back. But it's something that people always have to understand. You can't keep your money in one of them all the time.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, like, it's like these things right now, because they went through a reverse split.
Yeah.
But just before, they were both at like $500 each. And so what I'm saying is that this can easily, right now, it appears that NRGD is the one to get into because oil prices have dropped. However, as soon as someone hears about this Israeli Gaza thing popping off,
right,
that's when you want to jump into the NRGU because that's when the geopolitical situation. That's when the transportation to get the shipments. Oh, it's going to be a hassle. Oh, the Houthis is back. All that stuff is going to get, you know, all the distractions.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to that natural gas, there's another one by ProShares called Cold, KOLD, and then there's Boil by the same company, ProShares called BOIL. And this is like, you know, dealing with natural gas, you know, so summertime, you know, people would be thinking, oh yeah, let's get something for the summertime weather.
Yeah,
you have to really pay it. That right there, I haven't mastered that one. So I am aware that there's plays to like there's continuous plays in those. People could just go back. They just making money, just scraping.
Exactly. What you think? Somebody asks, who controls crypto? Who controls Bitcoin and what's the best crypto system? What would you say to that? I want to get Avatar opinion on that too. Who do you think control crypto?
Who controls crypto? All of it or just Bitcoin?
Yeah, like Bitcoin, you know what I mean? Like, you know.
Okay. This is my first time answering this.
Right.
But I would say that Genius. Genius is an app that's coming out, but Genius is also an anonymous group or a firm that is down with Satoshi Nakamoto.
Right.
And I believe Satoshi Nakamoto is just more than one person. Even though that they showed a guy who has a name, it's really more, it's a firm. And I would say that it's between Japan, England, and the United States.
So you feel like it's a group effort? That's a good one.
Yep. Yeah, it's the Trilateral Commission. Japan, Europe, and United States.
It's definitely a group of people. You know, I definitely that. But all crypto wallets are hackable, though. That's
they're hackable, and
you know, that's the scary
they're
part.
also I mean, you can also get locked out. There's ways to get locking yourself out too. Yeah, there's way. Yeah, it's definitely hackable.
Yeah.
However, there's precautions. I mean, like I'm not a crypto diehard. I stick with what I know. And I know a few other things, but like I said, if I can't, I'd rather grow it. I don't like to jump into something. If I truly believe, when I seen Solana at $10 a couple different times within the last 5 years, I really would have, like, you know, I should have, but it's just one of those things, you know.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, like, you know, and I could kick myself in the ass, but then again, you never know, you might get another shot.
Yeah. It's holding it for me, man. I catch stuff, but when I make a little bit, I get out of it. But now I see, you know, I had Solana at $25, and I think I sold it.
Yeah, I know. That's even a good price there, right?
Man.
Right, that's even a good price there.
Right.
You know, just imagine just putting, let's not even go overkill. Just imagine let's putting $5,000 on $20 Solana, you know, like, and just thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, you know.
$250, it's at like $200-$300 now. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, we just gotta learn from it. But definitely, I am an advocate. We gotta build something too. We can't, you know, the best investment I think is in an idea that you got. You know, bringing people together. You know what I mean?
When you spoke about these companies being on these other black companies, I'm not trying to put you on the spotlight.
Oh, go ahead.
Which ones can you name off the top? Can you name more than 3 that are on the stock exchange that are black owned companies or have a black CEO?
I wouldn't say a black CEO don't mean that you're a black company.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Black company. Black company that I know is the Thompson Meat Company.
Thompson Meat. I'm actually gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Because
that's the biggest. Let me look at the ticker symbol. But that's like the biggest Thompson Meat Manufacturing Company. And let me see. Yeah, I gotta look into that one. But that one is, I know.
That's one. Come on, you got
Another
at
one
least one
would
more.
be another one would be worldwide. Worldwide. What's the guy name? The richest black guy. Worldwide. Worldwide. Is it the web?
Okay, okay. Is that even on? Is that private? Is that private?
It's a
still,
private stock. Worldwide.
Yeah.
The richest
but
black guy. He got a company. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been trying to find exactly where I could get it privately too, because that one is actually it's I'm not gonna say that well, I'm just gonna say that it's actively in circulation where it
Worldwide
does what it
technology.
does.
Yes, worldwide
It
technology.
doesn't have that company doesn't have to IPO. You know what I mean? It's to kind of find what is. It knows its place. It knows its formula.
Mm-hmm.
It has its customers. You know, it doesn't.
Right.
You know.
But I think having a private is it's the same. It may be even better than being on the stock market. You get what I'm saying?
The Honorable the Honorable Marcus Garvey, non-FBA, but he did speak on his speeches, and he had said we need our own private black businesses.
Yes, I agree.
And yeah, I mean, he was saying this like in the 1920s and stuff like that. I always stuck it in my mind, like, and now as a grown man who has been dealing more so on the corporate level of, you know, trying to get involved with it, I do see what he means by that. It's more protected, I think, just by being private, you know? I think you have a longer a legacy, you know, like, because things could be. We've had whole lands stolen from us, like Bruce Beach.
Yeah.
Bruce Beach was a private adventure before, or was it public when they took it? It was public when they took it.
Yeah, it was public.
You know, and so like, but had they, you know, it's just like, you know, it's just one of those things, you know, like,
yeah,
it's just different, I guess, private, like, you know, like maybe people are like, oh man, you scared, you know, no, it's just wise, I think.
Right. But like I'm saying, Wall Street got a little. Avatar said he personally wouldn't want to be involved in Wall Street. But I'm saying sometimes having the private company that you bought, because there are companies out here that's just not on the stock market. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Trying to get those.
Yeah, those.
I really am trying to look more and more into private companies.
Yeah, those.
Especially black owned ones, especially.
Yeah, those are.
Because a lot of people be thinking that we not involved with AI yet, and I don't know about that one.
Right.
You know, I don't know about that one. It's I do think that a lot of our stuff is just what we spoke on. It's private.
Yeah, it's private. I mean, it's smart because you don't. You know what I mean? Why would you? You know that ain't your game. So if you got ownership, real ownership, you want to keep that private. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be having people playing with your stocks. I don't know.
Right. Oh, yeah. See, exactly. Like, man, the first time I ever, like, before I land my plane, the first time I ever seen how shady this and predatory Wall Street is, there was this Chinese company. It was called EHang, EHANG, and it was about like 2021, and it shot from $20 to like $80 and $90 in one day, like then $120 the next. Okay, and I got involved. But sure enough, there was this research company called Wolfpack. Wolfpack Research, investment research, and what they do is they short.
Right.
There are a bunch of shorts. They're like they're monsters. And what they did is they went to China. They took a video camera with them, and they were streaming, and they're like, we're going to the factory to see how this is, the EHang, the infamous EHang. And they went into the factory, or what was supposed to be the factory, but it was on a Chinese holiday or something like that. And it was like partially closed down, and they were just like looking around like, yo, there's nothing in here. And it's like, see, this is a sham. This is a scam. Right. And the whole entire time, man, like, yo, everybody starts selling left and right. Like, and this is like, it's just crazy, man. Like, people will put they will slander you out there just to get it cheaper. And so when everybody sells in a panic, they out there buying. And they do that on purpose. Just with a few articles, I was like, damn, this is a dirty game. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got to support our own, though. We got to bring them to the top.
When it comes down to this, though, what I always try to stay away from Chinese companies. I mean,
because they lie, bro.
I do have
they lie a
anything
lot.
Anything ever pop off.
Yeah.
Anything ever pops off, just understand those Chinese companies will get blacklisted very quickly. It's not even that most of them are scams. It's just like you put your money into like Alibaba one day.
Right.
Man, you never know. Something pops with it. China goes over to Taiwan and take that shit back.
Right.
And trust me, you see a lot of Chinese companies that are legitimate. They go on blacklisted. Like, you might not get your money back.
Yeah, fact.
And I stay away from certain Israeli companies too. Or actually, just like the Chinese company, I just avoid them because they have a lot of scams too.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a lot of scam companies too.
For real.
But anyways, I'm gonna let you be.
Oh man.
Breathe easy. I stay tuned for the 10 o'clock hour, I think.
Yeah, 10 o'clock, man. We're gonna go over a little bit more
Ask
things.
George, what did it say? Ask Doge. What did he say?
Ask Doge about the China company. He don't like China company that went from $20.
Oh, HKD?
Oh yeah, you was just talking.
Yeah, I remember when that went. Yeah, I remember that. Do I think it could do it again or go to 1,000 again? I got my ass kicked messing around with that. That was like 2022. I got my ass kicked buying like 7 shares at $200. Thinking it was gonna go right back to 2,000 or so.
We need to start singling out. Yeah, we gotta start.
I think it's just like you gotta hold them.
Yeah, we gotta start. We need to know who our black good companies are though. We gotta know who they are. Huh? Palantir, black owned?
Alex Karp, his mom was darker than you and I.
Dang, I didn't know that, bro. I had that.
He's a half breed, but he says he's African American. Look up any interview where he speaks on this.
Oh.
Yeah, he just looks more. He looks more.
He's a Milano.
He looks more like Lenny Kravitz's real father.
Yeah.
He's one of them. He's like Slash from Guns N' Roses. Slash from Guns N' Roses, mom, triple, dark skin. I don't know if you old head like that, but
yeah, he black. Okay, because I invested in that. We gotta start.
Yeah.
We gotta start like knowing who they are and like making it a scene too.
He represents it.
Yeah.
He represents it.
Yeah, I'm glad I bought it.
It's just not like how we think he represents it. Palantir is different because people be thinking it's not your typical. It's a war stock. It's very. That out of all the AIs, that's the most. It has the most humanistic capabilities of AI. It's watching people. They got the name from the Lord of the Rings. That ball, you know. So it's just one of those things, man. It's Palantir, Skynet. It's not Google. Palantir is.
Yeah, it's at 120 right now. Palantir is a good stock, man. I had it at $13, man. Sold it at $60.
Yeah.
It's best to hold things for 10, 20, 30 years. Like, look what I'm talking to y'all about gold at $279, $3,000. You're going to have to hold things for like 20 years, bro. You know?
FBA ladies and FBA men.
Yeah.
When it comes down to this investing, like Water Guys is explaining about holding, the way I look at it is like on a biological level. Like, if you got to hold out on that climax, you just got to keep on.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're doing.
You got to know
and,
what you're
doing. You understand, like, because you're going to miss that real rush.
That real pump.
You know,
yeah,
you know, this is not titty play stuff because you don't kick yourself in the ass like, damn, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, you got to have control of your emotions and your cognitive functions, you know?
For real.
You got to be stone cold killer when it comes to that. And, yeah, I mean, that Palantir at 13, I caught this at 22 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kick myself in the ass for not holding it. A lot of people kicking themselves in the ass, but they hated on Palantir, the last administration. So
yeah.
Anyways,
thanks, man. I appreciate
won't hold you there.
Yeah, man.
All right. Anything.
We definitely gonna tap back in on 10, man. I want to hear some of your ideas on that. I'm trying to push this media and this these businesses, man. We're trying to get something concrete established. You know how we do.
Oh, we are. We definitely are. I mean, we in an information age.
Definitely.
You know, definitely. And we getting old now, so we might get we willing to risk it.
For real.
You know,
straight up.
They looking for the young boys, man. They looking for the young boys.
Yeah, they
want us.
Yeah, they is.
All right.
All right, Doge. I'll let you later, brother. Yeah, y'all, man. I'm finna do some deep diving on these black companies too, because I want to know who they are, what they got going on. They have to know Palantir is, you know, he black. He got a little, you know, you got an ounce. You got whatever much black into you, but like he said he sold out to the Boule Butt Bandit, bro. All your credibility be lost when you join them people, man. When you hold for long term, you make long money. Yeah, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. That is a fact, bro. But the Boule Butt Bandits, bro. You gotta watch out for them, bro. Bring us the Westmore conversation. Veto reparations in Maryland. Yeah, he vetoed it. We about to get off. We got a meeting on the I got a meeting there for the guys, man, about trying to make things happen concrete. We're trying to push this media company, but I get to that. I'm going live later tonight. Probably after I get off the 11 o'clock, I'm gonna go live. But I missed that. Yeah, the Westmore. Yeah, I think we covered that in our last we covered that in the last live, didn't we? When you running for office. Put our wish. So it's almost 10 where you are. Yes, it's 15 minutes out, y'all. We about to start that. I'm about to get off here in about 5 minutes and get ready for the it's gonna be on Discord. Y'all know we can't have them kind of conversations on here. For the open public, but Yeah, Trev, you see I got the vertical live going on, man. It's I like it. He vetoed reparations. Yeah, that's why we got to be working hard, man, and bringing us together. I like how they talking about like trying to make moves, but yeah, I'm gonna get on live and I'm gonna have another live after this for us. We'll cover that and monitoring all our accounts for sure. But we got to keep pushing, man. We ain't letting we definitely got to keep going with it. We just ain't gonna be too loud with it, but definitely we gotta YouTube pushing this vertical format still. I just tried it. Trev told me about this vertical stuff, so I wanted to see how it worked, but we'll see, you know what I mean? Trying to reach people too, man, because it's a madness to the message. That's why I want people to help me with the media, because we want to push a message in a way that where we getting people to think, we getting people to understand what we doing, and we still moving in the way where we making things happen. But it's always a message to my madness. I know people be telling me, man, I need you standing on FBA. I need you on this, but I gotta put that my message is out there. It's about health, wealth, better understanding of self. So I gotta reach the people too. You know what I mean? It's a message in this madness. For real. Salute. Rockingham, North Carolina, man. Let's see before we go out.
From Aisha. To accept, press 1.
Hey Aisha, you in Cali bound. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm actually in Cali right now, but I haven't quite reached my destination. But listen, I think I'm confusing myself because my phone says 6:47, but I've been driving so long. Is that what time is it where you are?
9:47. So it's right.
What time is it where you are?
9:47. 9:47. That's right.
Okay, great. So you about to go live on the other app in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Got you. Yep. Not on this.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'll see you there. You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all tap into us. We finna go live over there, man. It's 9:48. I'm finna get ready for that one. Go over some things. And I'm gonna be back live after this, man. Probably around 10:45, 11. Go over a little bit more stuff and get to it. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing. Shout out TJ Jones, man. Making it happen. Time zones are the biggest conspiracy. Ain't that crazy? You being one. You being one time zone and you being another. But yeah, y'all, I'm finna start that one. And we gonna get to it. So yeah, I'm gonna do another one live, man, if y'all want to tap in. How I get on Discord, fam. Let me send you the link, fam. You got to jump on that. That's where we be on there putting them plans together, man. I'm gonna put it in the chat for you. But all you gotta do is download the app, man. And when you get in there, I made a just scroll up to the where it say join. I'll put it in there again. The Vortex. Shout out TJ Jones. Yeah, man, we're gonna get in there and just go over some things we want to do. I gave y'all a little preliminary on here, but yeah, man, y'all tap into the WhatsApp, man. We're trying to figure out what we could do with everybody, bring everybody talents together. Y'all know how we do. Always making it happen, Cat. We got Black on there. So they ready to get it started. So y'all go jump in, man. I'm gonna get back on live after this. Have some fun. We're gonna kick it. Talk some more shish. Trying not to curse. But man, love, appreciate y'all. I see y'all there. If y'all got problems, just text in the app, man. If you got problems with getting on, just let us know, because we want to get our loyal people who be on the channel on, man. We're trying to really make moves. We the movers and shakers on this app. So I catch y'all over there. I'm gonna be back over here at 10:45. Let's get it.